let's talk about Thor 4, more Thor. Don't watch this movie if you just broke up. Alright, it's a bad idea. So, this movie features Jane Foster. Honestly, what they did was a ballsy move. I'm trying not to spoil, but let's just say they had my respect. You know, out of the whole movie, there was only one line I didn't like. Gore was calling her Lady Thor. And then she was upset about it, and I was like, why? At first, I thought it was stupid that you were even called Thor. You know, it's a name. It's just like if Captain Carter was called Steve. It's weird. Thor is his name. It's not a title. But apparently in this movie, they make it so that Thor is a title. You know, maybe it's a name that means something. So yeah, I guess she could be a Thor. You know, maybe a Thor is just whoever holds the hammer. So Steve Rogers is actually a Thor. Well, it's like calling you Lady Thor isn't an insult. Even if you meant it as an insult, you don't have to take it as an insult. It's just, you are a lady. And even me, a cynic, says like, you know what you did in this movie, sacrificing yourself? Yeah, I think you're worthy of being called Thor. Ergo, Lady Thor. But you got upset by it. Alright, I would call her Foss Thor. You know, because I like puns. And it's a convenient merging of the two names. But that's just me. You know, at this point I've kind of accepted that it's a rule. You gotta have a little woke stuff in it now and then. But that's okay. It wasn't too bad. And Valkyrie and Korg talked about their same-sex relationships. That's fine. I don't really give a fuck about sexualities of space rocks, you know? I care about their feelings. So, I'm glad Korg got a partner. I don't think, they're indoctrinating kids. If they are, you know, they're talking about orgies in it, and that didn't bother me, so, I don't think this is a movie for kids. If I had my way, Marvel movies would be a lot more, adult-oriented, you know, with violence and shit. And have you read mythology? It's kind of fucked, you know, Greek mythology's fucked, Norse mythology's a little wacky, you know? Where do you think Odin's horse came from? You know, the horse that was featured in the first Thor movie. Just do a little research. I'll wait. His name is Sleipnir. Yeah, that's basically his grandson. So the title of this movie is Love and Thunder, and after you watch it, you gotta wait till the end. Then you'll have that Peter Griffin moment of, at the end. Then it's gonna make sense. You know, Thor throughout these movies has, he never really got to be a king. He got to a little while, but that was taken away from him like 5 minutes later. But he got to be something more human. A dad. And I think that's the progression you want to take, right? Because a king and a dad, they're both leaders in a way. You want to take it one step at a time. You know, he's lived for thousands of years, but he's still got a lot of growing up to do. And I think that's, what's been always at the core of the Thor franchise, you know? Gods and humans, and the differences and similarities. So yeah, a god would be a king, but, you know, maybe you wanna be a dad first. See how that goes. I don't know, that's the thing I got out of this. Jane was done well. You know, I was afraid she was gonna be, another, superhero lady in this universe, but, you know, she was vulnerable. And, the way her powers worked were, kinda reminded me of Tony Stark in Iron Man 1. A hero is someone I look up to, but I don't want to necessarily be, because despite their shitty situation, they make the best of it. But I don't really want to be in that situation, you know? And you know, the flashbacks in this movie actually kind of made Thor 1 better. In the cartoon show, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, I thought the Thor and Jane romance was done way better than they ever were in the movies. But the flashbacks helped to flesh those out. You know, in the Thor 1 movie, Thor and Jane just got together because, from what I gathered, Thor thought she was pretty. Natalie Portman's really pretty, but she's not like give up your god status, Jamie Alexander pretty now. She was a good person, I guess, but I didn't get how he fell in love with her. But this movie showed how they did, and it was natural. You know, they had fights, they had dates, like a real couple would. Anyway, you get to see their relationship blossom. And most importantly, you get to see how they broke up, and it was very realistic. At least to me. What do I know? Maybe I'm a walking basic bitch, huh? Like I said at the start, this movie got me fucked up, man. As soon as I watched this, I was thinking like, should I call my ex? You know, when they showed how they broke up, and it was mainly because of the lack of time, and things getting in the way, like work, and poor communication, I just felt, god damn, this shit is real, man. Holy shit. You know, it's like Multiverse of Madness, and you saw the woman, this is me being reasonable. That shit is real. I wasn't expecting this from Marvel movies. I was just expecting some superhero shit, but those little things spoke to me. A lot of people complained that this movie was like too heavy on the jokes. Honestly, I didn't even find it that funny. I guess the lines you could consider jokes, they weren't jokes to me. They were just like the natural funniness of real life. But I get that there might have been a tone that was hard to grasp, because when at the part where Jane said she had cancer, there was a guy in my audience who laughed. It's like, that wasn't a joke. How do you find that a joke? It's not like she said it like Filthy Franks. I have a cancer. She didn't say it like that. But somebody laughed at it, because I think they were just so accustomed to having to laugh. I'm glad I didn't have that experience, but someone else did, so sucks to be him. It was sad. It was sad when you're confronted with, like, you're in the Marvel Universe, you can have all these, like, cool, renewable energy, and you can have advanced prostheses, but you can't even cure something like cancer. And Natalie Portman, she's a good actress, she sold that shit. If I wasn't with my boy, I'd probably cry at that scene. Yeah, because I'm a big old softie. And it's good that a movie can make me feel that way. A big part of this movie is they get sent to the Shadow Realm. That also reminded me of Filthy Frank. There was this thing with the goats, and they were just doing what goats do. They were screaming a lot. I didn't really laugh at that either. They were just, like, normal. It got annoying a little bit, but not too much that I didn't like the movie. The funniest part I did find of the whole movie was Bale channeling his American Psycho days. Bale was great. It was really a treat to see him speak with his natural accent. I think he enjoyed himself a lot. And he managed to act the shit out of the father-daughter scenes, too. Hemsworth was great. Jane Fonda was great. I know her name's not Jane Fonda, that's a joke in the movie. Even Valkyrie, you know, who at one point was just had the same face throughout the whole Thor Ragnarok. Even she was endearing in this one, you know. She was being bros with Thor and Cog, instead of just being the grumpy black lesbian woman that she was before. You know, she's good. I like that Thor got to meet his hero. You know, even someone like him has someone he looks up to, you know, it's always a bigger fish. Like, I guess the Greek gods are like the Avengers to him. I was a little sad when Korg, quote-unquote, died. He didn't die for long. Zeus being bloated, you know, I didn't find that disrespectful. Kinda makes sense, shows that he was gluttonous, and, well, if you know anything about Greek mythology, you know he's gluttonous for, maybe not food, but something else. Anyway, how many jacked up kings do you see in real life, huh? You got King Richard, modern day equivalent, you got your boy Trump and Kim. You know, Zeus in the real story is even worse, so, yeah, I think in this one he wasn't so bad. This movie was ballsy with what they did at the end, but you know what would have been really ballsy? Why in the realm of gods didn't we see, you know? I'm just gonna put a blank here, and you can fill in the words. They had a god of carpentry? Sure. Why didn't you see some other gods, huh? Maybe, of the Abrahamic? That would have been too touchy. I get it. I understand why they didn't do that. I just thought like, damn, if you had done that, I'd be like, I'm impressed. Maybe give it like 1,000 years, and then, I mean, you already have Jesus comic books. Maybe 2,000. I don't know. Let's talk about appearances in this movie. You know, at first, I was disappointed that Gore didn't look anything like his comic book counterpart. I mean, the only similarity is that he's got no hair and he's white. I thought Voldemort Twi'lek was a good look on him, but in the first 5 minutes of the movie, I understood why they made him look human, you know? The whole point of the first scene is to show him suffering in the desert and he's being dehydrated. So they had the makeup guys made him look like he's got eczema and intense sunburns. It's supposed to show how he's really fucked up, right? And if he didn't look so human, if he looked like an alien, I personally would have just thought like, yeah, this is just how the alien's skin looks like all the time. But because he looked human, and you could see how his skin was all messed up, you got that he was going through a really bad predicament. Alright? Natalie Portman's design was really good too. Talking about cancer and non-cancer mode. At first when I saw Lady Thor, I was like, here we go. Let's not let women be pretty and feminine. Let's give her like fucking tree trunk arms. But after knowing what we know, that she's got fucking cancer, I'm thinking like, yeah, good. Give her all the CGI muscles she needs, alright? She kinda looks emaciated when she's, in human form, so. You know, and, seeing her side by side with Thor, it kinda looks better because now it looks like if they hug, Thor wouldn't just snap her in half, or just, if you rolled over to her side of the bed. If they're both buff, but obviously Chris Hemsworth is much buffer, it looks alright. And the way they explained why she's worthy of Mjolnir, I thought it was done beautifully. In the comics it was kind of like, sure, of course, it's 2016, we gotta be like, hey, women better than men in every shape and form, but in this one it was good. He basically told Mjolnir to protect her. And Mjolnir was like, yeah, I'ma do that, man. I know this your chick. I'ma do you a solid. We bros! And I think the hammer did try. It did, and it gave her some sense of purpose, which, if I'm dying, knock on wood, I would like that. And in the end, she got a warrior's death. She had meaning, she had purpose, she had a big fucking statue in some part of Europe, I'm assuming. It was a life well lived, even though it was cut short by a Duma. And I'll say it again, Thor's not a king. It's debatable whether or not he's a god, but what he is, especially in this movie, he is a man. He's a father. And I think what I haven't heard from anyone is that this movie celebrates fatherhood. Gore and Thor alike. Honestly, this was my favorite Thor yet. I'm glad the reviews I saw were mixed. I went into this not knowing what to expect, but I think in a world where you don't really see a lot of good dads on screen, this was refreshing. I liked it. So, watch this movie if you're a dad-to-be. Unlike some other movie, which was released on Father's Day, and they removed where a dad would be. Hey, if you want to look at pretty effects, go watch Lightyear. And, it wasn't really exciting. If you want to see a movie with a nice dad, 2 nice dads in fact, go watch this one. You even got Heimdall, and he's a dad, even though we never saw him with his son. You get to see his son and his, shitty CGI glory. Yeah, I say it's a good movie. Soundtrack's a little predictable, but it's fun. I rocked out to it. Looking forward to, Guardians 3. We see them in the beginning, but they kinda dip. And, I'm looking forward to see what they do with Thor moving forward. I think Chris Hemsworth is, really passionate about the role, and I always love when actors are passionate about their fucking jobs. That's the way it should be. I think he's a little shady with his promotion of the fitness stuff when it's clear to everyone that he's probably shooting up the roids. But hey, that's a different issue. It's a good movie. Alright, I'll stop now before I ramble any further. Bye-bye.